Hey everybody. So in one of my videos, top 10 ETFs to grow your wealth, somebody left a comment that is kind of strange. So this individual said some of those funds are at $100 a share. Okay. Example, VT currently pays $2.22 a year per share. Okay. So that's 0.18 per share per month. At $1,000, you can buy 10 shares for a grand total of $1.8 per month. Good luck growing your wealth before you're dead, lol. So obviously this person didn't include the most important factor of buying into a fund like VT, which is price appreciation. So I gave him a heart and a thumbs up because that's what you deserve for writing a comment. I think that he shared his ideas and that's perfectly fine. So I came and I told him, compound interest works wonders, and over time it will grow substantially due to price appreciation. This is the most important aspect of this fund, of most of these ETFs that I recommended in this video. VT is not a dividend ETF. Although it does pay a dividend, that's not its focus. Also, I buy individual stocks along with these ETFs, so I expect an even greater compounding effect in the long term. So this is just part of having a balanced portfolio, and depending on your risk tolerance, maybe you want to have more in individual stocks that you believe will grow even more and possibly beat the market. So I just asked this person, I'd like to know what your strategy is to grow your wealth. Because when I give advice to, let's say, my best friend, what they should buy in their brokerage account, I usually give them advice of buying the S&P 500 or a total market index like VT. And this is the best advice you can give somebody because these are the time-tested ways to grow your wealth. So let's take a look at VT over the last 5 years. So just 5 years. This is nothing in comparison to your long-term goals of retirement, right? So just the last 5 years. Let's see from November 2019, how much the price has appreciated. More than 50%. So imagine you have this kind of result over 5 years, what the result will be over 20 years, 30 years, or even 40 years. Because if you hold these ETFs for that long, your share in these ETFs is going to grow substantially. So your dividend will also grow as well. So by the time you retire, you might not even have to sell shares to cover your lifestyle. You may just be raking in those dividends, and instead of reinvesting it into these ETFs, you just pocket it and use it to spend. So the very important principle behind this idea is compound interest. Compound interest is something that most financial YouTubers go over. It's something that's so important to an investor's journey, and rightfully so. So just like in my ETFs video, let's say the individual starts with 1,000. Let's say that they're able to monthly deposit $100 from their paycheck. So after bills, after everything, they just put away and invest $100. So that's pretty realistic for most individuals to do. It's not anything crazy. So $100 per month, and we're gonna use a normal market rate of about 8%. So usually if you invest in total market indexes or the S&P 500, you can expect an annualized rate of 8%. Sometimes it's much higher and sometimes it's a little lower. But in general, historically, it's about 8%. And let's say that you put it in for 30 years. So for me, this is almost to retirement age, but I would be realistically holding for 40, 50 years. But let's see what this does. With your initial principal and a very, very small amount of monthly deposits, this is what you're going to get. Your total deposits will total to $36,000. So that's all the money that you put in over the years. It totals to $36,000. So if you were just to save this money and put it into a savings account, it'd probably be around this, right? It's not going to grow that much, especially with rates coming down. You're not going to be making much, especially if you put it in a low interest savings account. We don't even need to talk about that. But if you invested it in something like VT, SPLG, one of those safe ETFs that return around 8% historically, you're going to find that your interest is making interest on itself. So your total interest way surpasses your total deposits, and your money just grows upon your interest. So you find your balance to be 159,000, almost 160,000. So this is just something to keep in mind. Let's say that over time you're able to contribute more. Let's say you get some raises. Let's say that you get some bonuses and your monthly deposit turns into $1,000. So we're still using a principle of $1,000 because that's what my video said. If you had 1,000 to start off with, let's say you put it into these ETFs and every month you increase your percentage of deposits. We see that in the end, our total deposits is 360,000 and the final balance is 1.5 million. So this is why just getting started is so important. Staying consistent and buying into these quality ETFs, these quality stocks that you may have picked. It's not about timing the market like, oh, I'm gonna wait until the market crashes. Oh, I'm gonna do this and do that. No, just get started, find these quality investments and be consistent with it. So 30 years, for me, I'm gonna be 52. So that's not quite when I'm gonna be withdrawing. And the thing is, I might not even have to withdraw, like I said earlier. So let's just increase this number of years. Let's just say I hold it and I plan to give it to my kids. So let's say 50 years, I'll be 72. So you can see how exponential the growth is with the interest because your money is just going to make more money over time. It's not like there's a limit. No, compound interest is a wonder. It's one of the best things that you can rely on as an investor. So after 50 years, it's going to grow to 8 million. One last thing to remember about compound interest is $300,000 is halfway to $1 million if you're invested. Why is that so? It's because of this amazing exponential effect that's going to happen with your money. Once you hit 300,000, it's not like your growth suddenly stops. No, it's going to keep going exponentially so that 300,000 suddenly becomes halfway to $1 million. So looking at my portfolio, I do own VT and I own a bunch of the ETFs that I recommended. And these are just holdings that I consistently buy into and just grow over time. Because I do also pick stocks that I believe will beat the market. I have a good mix in my portfolio with ETFs and stocks. So just something to keep in mind for yourself as well if you want to do something similar. So I hope this individual and others are able to learn about compound interest, about these investments, and look past just the surface level. I don't normally react to these kind of comments, but if it presents a great learning opportunity, then I believe it's worth doing so. And I'm glad that this individual wrote this comment because any comments are good, because I like to discuss with my viewers about what they think about my video and the contents that I provided. So even if the viewer disagrees with me in any way, I will love it because I get to discuss with this person. That's the whole idea of humanity, right? We bounce ideas off of each other and we learn from each other. So if you guys learned something new, if you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.